Hey, I'm a little bit behind on Gravity Falls, but here I am to talk about it. There's a bunch of reasons why I'm a little bit behind. If I can get some house cleaning out of the way first. I've had a very long couple of weeks. Both school and work have been kind of keeping me occupied with other things. If it looks like I'm exhausted, it's because I am, because I work at a job that's slowly killing me, but that's a topic for another time. Also, I'm working on my cartoon clip show review right now, and as we speak, I'm editing it, and hopefully in the next couple days it'll be done. Hopefully. And the other reason was, I was having a little bit of trouble with this episode, but I will get to that when I talk about it. So, since I'm behind, if it's all the same with you, I will do this video completely uncut. So, you're gonna get all my uhs and ums and awkward pauses, and maybe people won't complain about YouTubers cutting up their videos when you see how awkward I can be in some of these videos. So, anyway, this episode was Roadside Attraction, and in this one, Grunkle Stan just taking Dipper, Seuss, Mabel, and Mabel's friends, Candy and Grenda, on a road trip across Oregon to go and sabotage other tourist traps and other things like that. It's a hilarious setup, and I was really looking forward to this episode too. Then it's established that Dipper still has not let go of his feelings for Wendy, even after, you know, all those talks they've had, and I can kind of understand it's very difficult to give up your first crush, isn't it? I think that's something we can all relate to, except for me, but that's, again, story for another day. They try to help him, you know, get over it. They said, you know, you gotta go out and meet some other girls and everything. So as they're going across to all these different tourist attractions, he's meeting all these girls, and he's making friends, and he's getting their phone numbers and email addresses, and it's finally building up his confidence. And so at one of the attractions, you know, he's feeling really good, and he passes by Mabel and her friends, and he's like, "Hey, Mabel, how's it going? Hey, Grenda, what's up? Hey, Candy, looking good." And then right at that moment, Candy decides that she suddenly has a crush on Dipper. So they go to this other roadside attraction, this really like big one that's apparently like and honestly, this place looked kind of cool. It had, like, you know, mountain trails and all these sculptures everywhere, although when we find out what it really is, it stops being cool. So at that one, Mabel and Grenda decide to get the two of them alone together, so they spend a little bit of time together. And it just so happens that all the girls that Dipper was talking to from all the other attractions happen to be there at the same time, and it's like one of those instances where it's like, you know, he's a cheater, you know, the cheating guy who sleeps with a lot of girls, but that is not at all what this was. He was just talking to them, so I really don't know what they were upset about. Excuse me, let me drink some water out of my radioactive Slurpee cup. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I do cuts. So Candy gets upset about that, and she runs off. But then, meanwhile, Stan meets up with this other woman who's at the ticket place, and they go off on their own. And then they find out that this whole tourist trap is literally a trap for, like, spider people that capture people and eat them, and she caught Grunkle Stan, and they had to go rescue him. Then they have this big chase down the mountain, and they squish her with a giant Paul Bunyan statue, and then they go off back to the Mystery Shack, and they find out that the other tourist trap people sabotage the Mystery Shack, so that was kind of a cool payoff. And then Candy and Dipper have a talk, and she says that, you know, maybe we should just be friends, and Candy was like, yeah, that's fine. I think after seeing you cower at those spider people kind of was a little bit of a turn off for me, and really, honestly, Dipper has kind of done Dipper has dealt with worse things than spider people at this point, but again, so that was the episode. I was having trouble with this one because, for one thing, this was a very filler. This was like one of the few truly pure filler episodes that the series has had. Usually, even like the side stories will have some kind of tie-in with the main story that's going on. This one had none, and there have been others, but honestly, I think a lot of people go to the Mermando episode, the mermaid who lived in the community pool. I actually saw that episode recently, and honestly, I found a bunch of funny moments in that, and I didn't hate it. I kind of liked that episode. There was a lot of funny moments, stuff with Grunkle Stan and Gideon and Dipper with the weird pool, the pool guy, Mr. Pool Check, weird pool man. So yeah, this episode had kind of no real point to it, other than the only like seemingly important piece of information we got from this episode was we found out that Stan had been previously married. I don't know if that'll play into anything, but they established that, so I don't know when that happened in the timeline, but there it is. There's something we know about Stan now. The other thing was... excuse me, let me drink again. Okay. The other thing was the whole Dipper and Candy thing. Now, let me say right now that I know there's a huge fan base for Gravity Falls right now. There's tons of people online who love the show, and rightfully so. It's a great show. But just like every other fan base, sometimes they get a little nuts, and I don't associate myself with any fan base. I just like what I like, and I just do my own thing. You can do that, by the way. That is always an option. If you don't like a fan base of something big, you can just leave and still enjoy the show. Just FYI. Anyway, Dipper and Candy have been shipped by the fan base for a while now. And my honest opinion is I could have it or leave it, honestly. I can see them getting together. I think it would be kind of cute. But at the same time, if they don't, then it's not the end of the world. But I think mostly at this with this show, I kind of never really cared about who's hooking up with who, because especially now, because there's so many more important things going on that why does that matter so much? There's stuff happening right now, and then I'll get more into that when I talk about the next episode. So yeah, I'm okay with it. I don't really care that much. I guess for this, just for the sake of the whole show, I really don't care who's hooking up with who. Doesn't matter to me, because I'm more interested in the bigger picture, right? Especially right now. And I think the one thing that really cemented my dislike of this episode was the huge continuity problem that it had, because in the previous episode they had to get Unicorn Hair to put a field around the Mystery Shack so Bill Cipher can't get in and take over their minds. And Ford said, now that this barrier's up, well, all we have to do is not leave the Mystery Shack and Bill can't get us. So, what do they do in the next episode? Road trip! I'm like, are you serious? That is a huge oversight. Because I have a feeling, I feel like maybe this episode was intended continuity-wise to take place before that episode, maybe? I don't know. But, yeah, that was a huge problem. That was a huge, oversight there. So that was... I can't say that I hate this episode, because honestly, throughout this show, there's not been a single episode I hate. There's been some I like more than others, yes, but I've not disliked any episode. But of all the episodes of the series so far, this one is definitely the weakest. And to the show's credit, we are at the tail end of Season 2, and to finally get an episode like that now is very impressive. To go more than a season and a half worth of content and still, you know, be good is very commendable. But this episode was just, yeah, it was just not, I wasn't really into it. Honestly, I was live tweeting this whole thing. I'm like, really? Oh, God. And it's had so much potential, too, because they could have did so much more with Grunkle Stan sabotaging all of the, because it was a great setup, too. It was like, we're gonna go sock it to all those other, sock it to the, oh, gee, what is this, the 50s? Jesus Christ. we're gonna go get back at all those other tourist traps for taking my business and for TPing the Mystery Shack or whatever the heck they do. And they really could have did more with that. And the whole spider people thing, that was actually kind of cool and creepy. If you don't like spiders, man, you might want to miss this episode. And it'll be okay if you miss this episode, because honestly, nothing of significance really happened. So, yeah, at this point, I really don't, I would say this is my least liked episode. Again, I don't hate it. There were a few funny moments, like they went to, the first tourist trap they went to was it Granny Sweetkins or something, this really nice old lady, and then they just screwed up her house and everything, and then she vowed revenge on them. So, yeah, this could have been so much better, even just as a filler episode. But yeah, I didn't really care for this episode. I will say that it will be all worth it when the new episodes happen, because I think we got like 4 episodes left in the season, and I'm actually hearing rumors the show might end. And I know Alex Hirsch said that he doesn't want the show to go on for too long. So, like, I don't know, I'm gonna be really sad to see the show go. I feel like there is more to explore in it, but it does feel like we're reaching a major climax here. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. It would have been nice if there had gone 3 seasons, you know, 1 for each month of summer. But it looks like if it does indeed end, it's been a great show. I'll talk more about that if it does happen. But yeah, the next episode's going to be very interesting, because it seems like a lot of things are going to happen. They're actually really building this one up too. I'm seeing more commercials, more you know, advertisements for it, more marketing. So I'm truly hoping that I don't need to hope, because I know that the next episode's going to be so much better. So yeah, I will get to that. We had a 3-week wait for the next episode. I think we got like another week for it, but should be fun. So I guess that's all I really have to say about this episode. Maybe I'm alone on this one. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought of Roadside Attraction, and I will see you hopefully with my review coming out soon, and in the next Gravity Falls recap episode. So my name is Rob, and have a wonderful day.